God. Ask God.
Hey Scott, Spencer here. First of all, thanks a bunch for all you're doing. I really appreciate it. Love the way that you boil it down and just give us the nuts and bolts, all killer and no filler, as the kids say these days. But my question is quick. We have been doing FBA for about a year now and having some really good success, in fact. And we started private labeling about 2 months before we found your podcast. And my question has to do with kind of in the weeds stuff of Alibaba. Every time we order inventory, from a different supplier, it's kind of a pain in the tail to do the transaction. You know, the first time it was PayPal and they added 5%, which at the time seemed expensive, but now is seeming kind of cheap. This latest time we did trade assurance, and they required a bank transfer for the trade assurance, which was a $45 fee, and was just really confusing, and I wasn't sure exactly whether or not it was successful, and actually it remains to be seen whether or not they'll get the money. But if you could just walk us through your process for how you initiate a trade assurance order and then how you pay for it, because I know you said you paid with a credit card, which I would really like to do but haven't found out how. That would be awesome, and I hope you're having a great day. Keep kicking out the really good content and helping all of us just go ahead and take action. Thanks, man.
Hey, Spencer, thanks so much for the question and congratulations on all your success so far. I know it's pretty exciting because when you're starting this, you just don't know if it's going to work. You have these little self-doubts, and usually when you pull the trigger, you get some type of result. So I'm really glad that you're having some success and you're able to share it here on your voicemail, because I can tell that you're excited about it, and you should be. So thank you so much for that, and thanks for the feedback. I do want to answer your question. I'm going to give you my answer as far as what I currently do, but I also wanted to kind of highlight what other people are doing that I am friends with and that are also selling on Amazon. So I'll point out their strategies as well. Me personally, I kind of got lucky because my agent in the beginning, I asked if they would do escrow and they said yes. So basically, this is how it works. I go ahead and I tell them now that I want to order 2,000 units. They go ahead and they send me an invoice, okay, through the escrow service inside of Alibaba. Now, I have to go in and complete the transaction. Well, inside of this escrow service that Alibaba offers, I go ahead and I punch in my credit card information, which I think I mentioned this on, maybe it was one of my income reports, where I use a credit card that also gives me 1% cash back. So I also get 1%. Actually, it's an Amazon card that I actually get points. So I use that card. So for every, $1,000 that I spend, I get $10. Okay, not a lot, but it adds up over time. But why not go ahead and get that $10? Anyway, so that's what I do as far as paying for it. I use the credit card, I punch in my information, and then from there, I hit submit. So now they are notified that I have completed the transaction, that I've given them the money, okay? I've given the escrow service the money, and now they can go ahead and feel safe that as long as they fulfill the order, that I will release the money, or, basically say that I'm happy with the order, so go ahead and pay these people. And that's what I've been doing from day one. Now, I did have a couple of situations where they were starting to be like, hey, you're ordering a lot more now. We want to go ahead and switch over to wire transfer. Because with wire transfer, they don't need to pay anything on their end. And on my end, it would just be like a $45 bank fee. The only problem is once I send that money over there, there's no insurance on that. So they're going to get the money instantly before I even get the product. So I fought them on that a little bit, basically saying that, I have no problem paying an additional fee if that's the problem. And that was the problem. So they went ahead and said that we'll go ahead and split the fee with you. So let's just say, for example, it's a 5% fee. They would pay 2.5%. I would pay 2.5%. But to be honest with you, I would even pay the 5%. As Spencer, you have said, it's cheap in the big scheme of things when you figure it's insurance. Now, I am probably in the future going to possibly move into doing a wire transfer with this agent because now I trust them. So that's a huge element here, right? I trust them, and I've built this trust over time, and it's going to save them money. So what it's going to do then in turn is reduce the cost of my product. So I'm going to maybe save 10, 20 cents per unit okay, because of this. Now, I haven't done that yet. It's just in my plans to do it. Right now, I'm really just kind of like, I guess, being a little bit lazy on that aspect of it because it's working. So I just say, I want to order another 2,000 units. The next day, they send me over an invoice. I pay it. Boom, I'm in production. It's that simple. And then the cool thing is once I receive that, the final product here, and actually I do it in 2 phases. I give them 25% down. No, it's 30% down. And that's to get the manufacturing started. And then I pay them the 70% once they ship it. So now they ship it, I release the 70%. Now, here's the thing though. Even though I've given them the 30% down and even though I've given them the 70%, it doesn't go to them directly until I receive the goods and I go ahead and click confirm inside of the escrow account. Okay. And after I do that, then the escrow company sends them the money or releases the money to them. So that's really how it works for me personally. Now, I am looking at other products within other markets, and I will now probably take advantage of the assurance or assurance or whatever they're calling it, right? Trade assurance. I'm going to probably take and go that route because that is probably the next best thing. But I will always try to do escrow first because escrow to me is just the best way to do it. But you're going to find that some manufacturers, a lot of them won't want to do that. Okay, so you're going to have to kind of go with what is going to work for both of you. But I would try that, and I would also offer to pay that percentage if that's why they won't do it. All right, so that's the way that I do it. Now, I do know that there's other sellers, friends of mine, that are doing the wire transfer, and they are using the trade assurance, and they haven't had any problems. Now, I have heard from other people not in, like my little, circle here or my group here. I have heard of people sending money over and then not getting product. So that's why I'm a little reluctant to even say doing the wire transfer until you know, like, and trust them. I think it's huge. But there are people that I know right now that are doing that, and they're having success with it. Now, here's one little thing. If you are going to go the wire transfer route, you probably will want to do a smaller quantity just to kind of, again, test the relationship, test their system. I mean, you can almost learn this with a sample, but a lot of times with a sample, they will let you do PayPal because it's not that big of an order, and they're willing to, eat the 5% or whatever it is on the sample cost. But I would definitely try to do a smaller order if you have to do a wire transfer at first, because this is going to allow you to protect yourself and build that relationship until you get that trust level, because that's really what it is here. And, I know some people that they're willing to gamble that, and that's okay if that's what you want to do. Me personally, I always try to go escrow if I can, and I'll go back and forth with a couple emails until I see that they're not going to budge. And I did this with one other product, and I was able to get them to do the escrow, but it took a couple of back and forth saying that my company only pays through escrow. And if you want our business, you have to accept escrow. That was the route I went. The other thing is, obviously, and Spencer, I know you probably already know this, and maybe you don't use AliExpress, but AliExpress is really the safest way if you're going that route. But again, that's when you're in the kind of like the beginning stages and you want to go ahead and test products, because that is all kind of based on kind of like the escrow model. You get to use your credit card. They're going to go ahead and make sure that you get your product. If you don't, you can go ahead and request to get a refund and all that stuff. That's AliExpress. But I hope that's answered your question. I know it was a little long-winded, but I wanted to give you exactly what I'm doing. So thanks again, and congratulations once again, and thank you so much for the positive words as well. So if you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop. and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. But what I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.